All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome here to CCBC Essex. And this is game 2 of our doubleheader. These two programs, women's teams, went head-to-head in game 1, and now CCBC Catonsville Cardinals and the CCBC Essex Knights men's teams go head-to-head. Going to toss things down to our PA announcer momentarily for the starting lineups for today's game. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we'd like to introduce you to this evening's starters, and let's hear it for our friends at Mars Estates, who are escorting your night starters onto the field. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we'd like to introduce you to the game starters, beginning with our visitors from CCBC Catonsville. Midfield, number 1, El Said Muhammad. Defense, number 2, Jordan Hunt. Defense, number 4, Hugo Bapsti. Midfield, number 6, Joseph Safoya. Midfield, number 7, Isaiah Scott. Midfield, number 8, Abdullah Katia. Midfield, number 10, Leandro Conti. Forward, number 14, Henry Molai. Defense, number 16, Max Munther Anderson. Forward, number 23, Eddie Fosung. And starting in goal for the Cardinals, number 0, Brandon Basilio. The Cardinals are led by head coach Phil Saunders, who is assisted by Rafik Ketrick, Joe Pratt, Christian Morales, and Michael Kozlowski. And now the starting lineups for your CCBC Essex Knights, joined by the students from Mars Estate Elementary School. Defense, number 27, Trent Hoffmeister. Defense, number 25, Jake Dangler. Midfield, number 24, Seth Walter. Defense, number 19, Brian Roney. Defense, number 14, Robert Sims. Midfield, number 10, Gage Robinson. Forward, number 7, Clement Blamo Jr. Midfield, number 6, Pharma Sirion. Defense, number 4, Walter Avila. Midfield, number 3, Carlos Guzman Hernandez. And starting in goal for your Knights, number 0, Dylan Guarnio. The Knights are led by head coach Joe Fiedler, who is assisted by Jason Rems, Tim Fiedler, and Tyler Farrell. Ladies and gentlemen, here at CCBC Essex, we embody the spirit of sportsmanship because it is an important component of being a student athlete. We ask that you please refrain from the use of profanity and let all spectators remain positive in cheering for their favorite team. Ladies and gentlemen, the Knights would like to take this opportunity to thank the following sponsors. MedStar Sports Medicine, the official training partner of CCBC Athletics. the Hilton Garden Inn and Hampton Inn of Baltimore White Marsh, Maryland. Madison Bank of Maryland, proud supporter of CCBC Essex Athletics. Visit wbofmd.com to learn more. And finally, the CCBC Associate of Applied Science Digital Media Productions Department, the official broadcast partner of CCBC Athletics. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you have heard the opening spiel. You've met the starting lineups, and now it's time for you to meet my broadcast partner here for this afternoon's game, Byron Reed. Byron, how you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing pretty good, man. We saw a great game in the first game where Essex went out with the W, and we're looking forward to seeing Essex hopefully take 2 in the doubleheader today.
Yeah, definitely want to come away with the win. The Knights have all the momentum here in this doubleheader of epic proportion. This is a rivalry game here, Cardinals and Knights, always a chippy contest. The women went head-to-head in that game, and tell us what we saw in that one.
We saw as you said it, a beatdown with the Essex Knights coming away victorious 8-0. They scored 4 goals in each half, no less.
Whew. Oh, man, could we be in store for more of that here this afternoon? Let's give me some of the stat lines that you came up with here this afternoon.
Well, Essex is coming in 8-2 on the season, 6-1 in conference play. Their last game was a loss, 5-0 at Montgomery College. However, they did finish September 7-1. They're looking to start off October hot. And as far as players to watch for Essex, you have Varma Sirion. He leads the team with 7 goals, and Jake Dangler right behind him with 6 goals.
Now, you know, that is a news to me because Jake Dangler has led this team in goals from the start of this season. So Varma Sirion had a big game in their last game if he was able to overtake Jake Dangler in leading goal scorer. Those are 2 players you absolutely need to watch out for. We're going to add one more to that list, and that is number 27, Trent Hoffmeister, and there, number 3, Carlos Guzman Hernandez, showing that he could be one of those players to watch out for as well.
They were definitely looking to come out firing here with Essex. I like the intensity already that I'm seeing. I like it.
And a corner kick for the Knights. Not a very good angle for us here in the broadcast booth. Can't see who's taking that kick. Usually it's Carlos Guzman Hernandez, but I could tell from this angle that player was too tall to be Carlos Guzman Hernandez. I believe that was number 19, Brian Roney. A good corner, but just didn't lead to anything. And the offensive momentum continuing to roll here for the Knights. Only played not even a full minute, and they've got some momentum rolling on their side.
Yeah, already. And you know what? That's good, especially, you know, this early, not even a minute now into the game. We saw in the last contest, Essex really dominate the offensive side of the ball. Time of possession, everything was in their favor. So if the men can do the same, we might be in for another high-scoring game from the Essex men as well.
Yeah, and this men's team is one of those teams that can really put together a lot of goals. You know, you were talking about Varma Sirion and Jake Dangler. Those are the 2 leading goal scorers, and there was an opportunity at goal scoring for Carlos Guzman Hernandez, and just a fantastic save by the Cardinals.
Yeah, in 10 games so far, Essex has 36 goals in the season. They're averaging 3.6 a game. It's also 4 goals per game.
Corner kick for the Knights. Taking the kick is number 19, Brian Roney. Roney hands up, balls up in the air. Not a very good cross on the corner as it goes over everybody's head. Luckily for him and his teammates, he bailed out by the Cardinals. They're the last ones to touch it. Here's Seth Walter. He's got 2 cannons for arms. Long throw. Dangler's there, but he can't get a head on it. And we find out that he was there because he was doing some pushing and shoving in the box.
Dangler, either one of 2 things. He has serious ups, or he's just so much taller than everyone else down there. I can't decide which was which down there. Well, he looked to be towering over everyone in the air and went up for that header.
I'll tell you, I think it's a little bit of both. Dangler definitely has some hops, but he does stand as the tallest player on the Knights. Comes into this contest standing at 6'5". Well, he could have grown a little bit since then. Who knows? But he is the tallest player on the Knights team. He's always the one they want to get the ball to on those long throw-ins from the near sideline or on the crosses. He's got a couple of goals already in the early part of this season off head balls.
Yeah, he's like a rebound specialist in basketball. Those taller guys can go up and get balls other guys just can't get to.
Yeah, Dangler, one of those many incoming freshmen on this team who have just came in and not played like freshmen whatsoever from the opening whistle from the first game of the year. Jake Dengler has looked like a seasoned veteran, and now I have to do it at least once every game. I have to talk about somebody's cleats down there, and those are a new set of pink cleats on number 6 Pharma Sirion. I haven't seen those all year. And he's got the pink wrist tape to go along with his cleats. I always say at every game, soccer is as much of a sport as it is a fashion statement.
And it is October, so rocking the pink for Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Oh, well, no, that's nice. I didn't even think about it there. Leave it to you to bring the lighter side onto that note. But so good for him rocking the breast cancer awareness cleats. You're not going to be able to miss him out there in those bright pink cleats.
Oh, no, sirree.
Oh, and a big hit on the far sideline. Clement Blamo Jr. took a hard fall after the good, clean, standing tackle by the Cardinals. And this is turning into a very chippy contest. We had a foul in our first minute, and there's another foul there. That one goes against the Cardinals, going to give them a free kick. The Knights, that is, about 20 yards out of the box. Dengler, maybe a little too far for him for goal-scoring range, but he could put this in the box and have one of his teammates put a head on it.
Oh, yeah, I'm expecting to see that here.
He actually wasn't the one to take it. He went with the soft touch over to Guzman Hernandez, who ended up taking it after the redirection. Missed opportunity there, but the way this Knights team has been playing offensively this season, you can afford to miss a couple opportunities in the early part of this game, especially when you're establishing yourself on the offensive zone.
Yeah, early in the game, you expect to see a little bit of a feeling out process, try to figure each other out, what your tendencies are on offense and defense. Once they figure that out, I think we'll start to see each team go in and start making their moves to get a goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome evening for soccer here. It was a good afternoon for women's soccer, and now we've got a great evening for men's soccer. The lights are fully on, and the clouds are out as the black night sky is taken over. And I think I saw a full moon out there. You can't see it right now with all the bright lights lighting up the stadium, but full moon out there could mean we're in for some trickery.
So, yeah, shame's not Halloween, or else that full moon would really mean something else around here.
I know, we're getting close to spooky time. Everyone loves October. Everyone loves the fall season. And that is also the time of the year when these teams at this level, at the JUCO level, they start to really revamp their season. You start getting into the later stages of the season, and the good teams start to separate from the bad teams, and the great teams start to separate from the good teams.
Yep, and this is going to be one of those games where you figure out who you are more anyway as season progresses, like you said.
Guzman Hernandez was trying to send a missile there towards the goalkeeper, but it deflected off of the backside of one of the Cardinals players. Does end up getting a shot off there, though, on the cross attempt, but Guzman Hernandez not as accurate with that one. He's also one of those many players who have come in the early part of this season as a freshman and not looked like a freshman at all.
And we were talking earlier about starting to find your identity here. Catonsville comes into this game 5-6-1. 3-4-1 in the conference, which isn't too bad. They're hovering around 500, which is good. You know, find your spot and then start to make your move. Last game, they won against Cecil College 5-0. They put up a lot of goals in that game, so could be a heavy offensive show if both these teams can figure out the defenses.
Yeah, or we could be in for one of those games where it's a defensive stalemate, where it's two teams just going back and forth, two high-powered offensive teams are going up against two very good defensive teams. It could be one of those games where we get into the later stages of the contest and we realize that it's a one-goal game, one goal.
So, yeah, it could be just one goal that separates these two teams. I'm looking forward to seeing how this all shakes out.
A lot of space there in front for Trent Hoffmeister. Surprising misplay there as Hoffmeister, back-to-back misplays as Hoffmeister wasn't expecting that pass from Dengler. Luckily for him, that one didn't come back to hurt him. But before that, I thought Hoffmeister had a lot of green in front of him, and I thought he was going to take advantage of that and maybe go after a shot. He is a defensive player, but he's one of those defensive players who likes to make the runs from the back, and you always have to watch out for him.
Yeah, he definitely had space to maneuver down there. Surprising, like you said, he didn't take advantage of it.
I always say that Hoffmeister is kind of like the heart and soul of this team. He isn't a player that shows up a lot in terms of goal scoring or assists, but he is a player that turns up a lot in terms of just good plays. Anytime a play needs to be made, it kind of seems like that number 27 jersey is in the right place at the right time. Let's see if he can make up for the mistouch there, as now the Knights had offensive possession before it was stolen away from him.
I'm gonna say again, more times than not, it's about like you said, being in the right place at the right time. And from what I gather from your brief explanation about Hoffmeister, he seems like that kind of guy. And who knows, he could be that guy to give Essex the edge that they needed in tonight's game.
Well, I think a big part of that has to do with the fact that he's one of the few sophomores on this team. So he was on the Knights team last year that was one of the best teams in the nation at this level. So he's a player who knows how to win at this level and knows how to make good, sneaky plays that contribute in your team winning, even though they may not show up in the box score. Here's Gage Robinson trying to show up in the box score there with the goal attempt. Had a shot on goal, but right into the waiting arms of the goalkeeper for the Cardinals. Got to get more accurate with that shot.
Definitely got to get more accurate with that shot. And he's a midfielder, Robinson's a sophomore. His brother was on the team last year, Storm Robinson. So with his brother gone, I'm looking to see how he takes over that mantle.
Yeah, it'd be really interesting to see that, because both of the Robinson brothers were in the starting lineup last year, and they kind of worked together as a unit. They both played the center midfield position and really worked great together as a two-man unit. Storm Robinson moving on to bigger and better things, and Gage staying with us here at the Coliseum. That is a very good point. How does he play in the early part of the season without his brother? I'm sure he's used to playing with him throughout his life.
Yeah, I know. I was just playing with my brother. We always played sports together on teams, so I know how it is being without him. Got to find your own way at some point.
Lots of opportunities at goal scoring here in the early part of this game for the Knights. There was another opportunity at goal scoring for Gage Robinson. That one, once again, right at the goalkeeper, but you put enough mustard behind that, it's going to put a mark on the goalie, and a good closeout move there by Carlos Guzman Hernandez. Gage Robinson displaying the hops there, getting up and timing that ball right at its peak and being able to get ahead on it. And, oh, nutmeg on Clement Blamo Jr. Or, excuse me, that's Sirion. Sirion trying to jump over the incoming slide tackle. Wasn't able to bring the ball with him, though. He got up in the air, but the ball didn't. Went out of bounds, though. Last touch by the Cardinals. Here's the throw-in for the Knights. Robert Sims, cross, into the middle. No one there, but somehow it goes off of a Cardinals player last. They're not able to get a good head on it. Here's a corner kick opportunity. Carlos Guzman Hernandez, he's going to take his first after Brian Roney took the first two of the game. Corner kick for the Knights. Taking the kick is number 3, Carlos Guzman Hernandez.
Yeah, I think the Catonsville defender got a little higher than he anticipated, and unfortunately for him, touched the ball, which allowed it to be a corner here for Essex.
Corner kick for the Knights. Taking the kick is number 3, Carlos Guzman Hernandez. And the PA announcer won't make the call the third time, as it's anything kind of a case of deja vu. Carlos Guzman Hernandez, after not taking any corners in the first part of this game, is now taking 3 corners in a row. Let's see what the third one has, and it's the best one out of all of them. But sadly for him and his teammates, a little too close to the line, and it finds the welcoming hands of the goalkeeper for the Cardinals. But there, third time certainly was the charm for Carlos Guzman Hernandez. The first 2 corners, not so good. Third one almost led to a goal.
I was just going to say, yeah, that third one was the best one we've seen from Hernandez so far in this one.
Best offensive opportunity of the game so far for the Cardinals, but last line of defense there, Mr. Robert Sims closes the door before it ever had a chance to open. Robert Sims finds himself in the starting lineups, or excuse me, that's Seth Walter. Robert Sims wears number 14. Seth Walter wears number 24. Robert Sims and Seth Walter, though, for that matter, don't usually find themselves in the starting lineup in this team, but they find themselves in the starting lineup this afternoon. Maybe a little something to prove to their coach.
Oh, yeah, I think so. When you get inserted into the starting lineup, that means the coach has faith in you to make a play or do anything you can to help your team win. Looking forward to see how those two perform and make the most of this starting opportunity.
We've seen other players on the Knights team make the most out of their opportunities in the starting lineup. Varma Sirion was not in the starting lineup for parts of this season, and now he's found himself in the starting lineups for back-to-back home games for the Knights. And Clement Blamo Jr. the same way, not always a starting player, but has found himself in the starting lineup a couple different times here this season.
Yeah, and that's also very important. I mean, you get to give the other team, other looks. If you see a team enough, you get to know their starting lineup and their formations and all that other stuff. So if you mix it up a little bit, it may throw them off.
And the Cardinals pulled a goal-scoring opportunity almost out of their hat there. And it was very close as they had to be a good save by Guarnio. And here's the first corner of the game for the Cardinals. Corner kick for the Cardinals. Taking the kick is number 14, Henry Molai.
Very well defended corner.
Yeah, like you said, a very well defended corner. That was a good corner taken as well. They needed that perfect defense. Here's Guarnio coming off of his line. Dangerous play as he had 2 red jerseys around there, but I guess he had faith in the white jerseys that were surrounding him as well. That's why he took the chance of coming off the line and putting the punches to the ball.
Yeah, that was very dangerous for Guarnio there. Had he whiffed on that punch, that probably could have been points there or a goal rather for Catonsville.
We talked about that same play in the women's game before this. That is a play where, it's a really good play for the goalie because it's an easy way to be able to get a transition opportunity for your team, but it's also a very dangerous play. Here are the Cardinals. Speaking of dangerous plays, a beautiful cross finds the inside part of the box, but just could not be finished.
Yeah, that was a very pretty cross. And like you said, unfortunately for them, they couldn't put it away in the back of the net.
Granted, we've only played 15 minutes, but that is the best offensive opportunity that the Cardinals have had. That could be one that comes back to haunt them. If this is a game for them where offensive opportunities are few and far between, that could be one that keeps them up at night. Here are the Cardinals, the man who wears the captain band, number 8, Abdullah Kiata. Or excuse me, that's number 6, Joseph Safoya. Joseph, a speedy player. Working the ball around the defensive backs. Great pressure on the defensive side from the forwards for the Knights. Brian Roney chasing that ball around, forcing the pressure. Dengler out of position there, almost had him come back to haunt him. Cardinals were getting dangerously close to goal-scoring range. Here's Sirion up the sideline, past the midfield. Oh, Blamo just out of position. If he could have got to that one, that could have been a goal-scoring opportunity. Back and forth, hot potato. Last couple minutes continues. Neither team possessing the ball with any kind of extended period of time. And the Cardinals offensive player is screaming at the referee. He wants a call on that one, and I can hardly blame him. Henry Molai getting held from behind there. Don't blame him for being upset at all.
If you didn't see it, it's legal, right? Is that how it works?
That is how it works. The referee made some friends with that no call, and he made some enemies as well. That's for sure, but you cannot let the game come down to the referee.
Cannot. You got to just play your game and do the best you can.
Missed opportunity there. Oh, another missed opportunity. Robert Sims had a hard time controlling that ball, almost let it get past him and almost set himself up, his team up in a very dangerous position. Here's the ball on that far sideline. Brian Roney, one-touch pass, had the right idea, just couldn't be controlled by Blamo Jr. Guzman Hernandez, one touch over to Sirion, who gives it right back to Guzman Hernandez. He's got a guy coming in, and a great slide tackle there by Joseph Safoya. Last line of defense, he was there, and he made the play.
I'm really liking the aggression I'm seeing from Essex once they get both teams, once they get the ball in the offensive zones of the other team. Essex down there just did a really nice job of corralling to the ball and allowing that opportunity to almost present itself, but unfortunately, Safoya got in the way of it.
Yeah, the aggression definitely there for these two teams. Ruthless aggression, you could say.
Yeah, but that's to be expected. Like we said, it's CCBC soccer.
Oh, yeah, and a rivalry game, so it's no surprise. The longer this game remains scoreless, the more likely it is that we're going to see one, if not both of these teams issued a card. This thing's going to get chippy at some point, especially if it continues to remain 0-0. We have almost played a full 20 minutes in this contest, and I got to say I'm a little surprised that neither team has gotten out to a lead.
No, it is surprising to say the least, but there might be something brewing here.
Yeah, there's definitely something brewing on this Cardinals offense right now. This is now 3-4 possessions for them that have ended, maybe not in good quality shots on goal, but they've ended in good quality opportunities. And the more you pressure the defense, especially this Knights defense that's not used to being pressured, that's going to help your team's chances at victory.
Yeah, eventually something's going to break down, and you might find yourself with a goal to show for it.
Yeah, and this could be one of those contests where the Cardinals get out to an early lead. A 1-0 lead could be the momentum switch that makes their 1-0 lead a 2-0 lead. There's a great play up. Goal scoring, Clement Blamo Jr. Oh, last line of defense once again for the Cardinals. Shuts the door before it opens, and that is an own goal on the Cardinals. But will it count? The referee is signaling, and it will. Own goal scored by the Cardinals. You never like to see that, especially in a game that has been so competitive.
That's just very, very unfortunate. I cannot believe that just happened. Sometimes you get a little unlucky. You go to make a play on the ball, and the defender just gets in the way. And unfortunately for them, it ended being an own goal for Catonsville. And now Essex has the 1-goal lead here with 26:15 to go in the first half of play.
We're trying to get confirmation that was officially an own goal. But we do know one thing. Officially, this game is now 1-0 in favor of the Knights. And an early lead, always a good one, especially in a game that's been so tight so far.
Yeah, it's been a very fast-paced, very competitive, very aggressive game from both sides so far. And now that Essex has the 1-goal lead, we might start to see, even though it's early in the game, might start to see a little bit of backing off, try and preserve the 1-goal lead, because one might be all you need.
Yeah, the way things have gone so far, it does look like one may be all you need. Now, granted, a lot of time left as we're now officially at the 25-minute mark of this first half. So we've got 25 minutes in the first and then another 45 in the second. So still plenty of time, but the more and more time that clicks off the clock, that last night's goal was scored by number 7, Clement Blamo Jr. So it actually was not an own goal. Clement Blamo Jr. will get the credit for the goal. Good one for him. And now that increases his team lead on goals, right?
That Blamo Jr., that gives him 6 on the season. So he's now tied with Dengler for goals on the season.
So a very impressive start to the season for the incoming freshman, Blamo Jr. Let's see where he's out of. Number 7.
Junior.
At a Dundalk High School. He's actually one of, I believe, 4 players out of the Dundalk High School area.
From Liberia, which is very interesting to me.
Long way from home. I got to be honest, in the early part of this season, I tried to say that, and I did not say Liberia. Wasn't anywhere close to that.
Oh, hey, look, man, I got your back. I'm here to back you up. That's how we do this, man.
That's why you need a partner on more games. And we're approaching the 20-minute mark, and a good play at the midfield by Dengler, stealing that away and getting it up to the aforementioned Blamo Jr. Blamo Jr. tried to give it back to Dengler. Had the right idea, but a good recovery defense there by the Cardinals. Dengler's got to be careful. Extending that arm could have been called for the hold or the push.
Yeah, because one of these times the ref is gonna see it and he's gonna get called for it. Got to keep your eye out for that.
So now we're actually looking at the stat line. I think that actually may have been an own goal. We got some confusion over on the other side in the stats department, but we're going to get it to you eventually. We're going to figure out who had that goal, if it was an own goal or if it was a Blamo Jr. goal. I'm sure Blamo Jr. appreciates getting the credit for the goal from our end, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Always want to add another goal to your tally.
Oh, and always want to hear your name over the loudspeaker, too, for sure. It's always a big ego boost.
No doubt about that, my friend.
It's been a much better contest than our first game that the Knights women's team really dominated the Cardinals women's team in that game 1 of our doubleheader. The 2 men's teams going head-to-head now, and it's a much more competitive game.
Yep, here early on it's been much more competitive and fast-paced and aggressive of what you can expect from the Essex Knights soccer team.
One thing that we should keep our eye on here is ever since the goal, offensive momentum been off the chart for the Knights, which is a big turnaround because you remember before, a couple minutes before the goal was scored, it seemed like the Cardinals had all the offensive momentum. They were getting shots right and left on the goal.
Yeah, it definitely did seem that way. And like you said, since that first goal from Essex, we've seen them become even more aggressive in terms of their offensive momentum and what they're doing with the ball when they have it. If they can keep the ball in the Cardinal zone, they will definitely get some more goals to show for it.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that if they can keep the offensive momentum going the way that they have, it'd be hard to believe that the Knights would only be walking out of here with only one goal to their name, especially with as many offensive juggernauts as they have on their team. You got to think that Dengler's going to get a scoring opportunity. Hasn't had many in the early part of this game, but you got to think he's going to be pressing the issue the further this game goes on. Yeah,
I mean, if you beat down the door long enough, eventually it's going to fall down, and we saw it fall once. We might see it fall here a few more times before it's all said and done.
It's a lot easier to knock down on that door when you're 6'5", too. Dengler there with the play over to Sims. Sims had the right idea, had a couple players in the mid, and that is going to be a push from behind on Gage Robinson. Robinson, one of the chippier, more physical players on the team, but you like to see that sportsmanship exchange from Gage Robinson and the Cardinals players give them the smack on the backside as almost to say, hey, my bad.
Yeah, it's always nice to see the sportsmanship, even in a game such as this with the magnitude that it has on your season and for bragging rights, so to speak.
Now officially at the 20-minute mark of this first half, and first half action starting to drag on a little bit here in the last couple minutes ever since the goal scoring. Neither team able to really get a sound footing here in the last maybe 4 or 5 minutes. Can hardly blame the Cardinals, though. You give up an own goal like we think they did in the early part of this first half. It's really hard to come back from that. It's almost like missing an extra point in football. You give up an own goal, it's really hard to win that game.
Yeah, it definitely is. Those kinds of mistakes, I think, are almost worse than you allowing it to happen yourself. If you allow the other team to score, totally different than you doing it yourself.
Yeah, it's almost like getting a red card early in a game. You know, you're playing with a man down. It's really hard to win games like that. Sucks all the momentum that you have out, and it's just so hard. Once that momentum really starts rolling onto the side of the other team, it's really hard to stop that momentum and get it rolling down to your side of the hill.
Yeah, and it just creates a big snowball effect, the momentum for one side, and the other side's just trying to get out of the way.
Long pass up that far sideline. Good play there initially to stop it, but the Cardinals still have possession. They're losing their momentum, and they're losing their numbers game as well, as the Knights midfield was able to get back into position, and Sirion, lucky he didn't get a card for that one. It kind of seemed like a blatant handball there.
Yeah, good job by the midfielders of Essex, though, getting back and getting in position to play defense and knock the ball away and get it back. Give their defense some breathing room.
Defense already has pretty good breathing room right now, up 1-0, but that could change here. Guarnio made the save, and we could see a card here, some contact made with the keeper. You're going to see a card the next time that happens. You cannot make contact with a keeper when he has the ball in his hands.
No, definitely not. That's a big, big no-no, and that'll get you a card, possibly a red real quick.
Yeah. Benefit of the doubt given to the player there, but I'm sure stern talking to's coming to him from the referee. Here's Noah Shade over to Carlos Guzman Hernandez. Hernandez, Hunter Alchin was there, and so is Clement Blamo Jr. Neither one gets it, as the Cardinals are able to clear it out of the danger zone momentarily. Hunter Alchin seeing his first action of this afternoon. He's a player that is seeing a lot more playing time as the season comes on. The first couple games of the year really wasn't playing at all. Here the last couple weeks has been playing a lot more. One of the first players off the bench for the Knights.
Being that first guy off the bench, getting your warm up off first, always a good feeling. Get in the game, get yourself going.
Yeah, and the second unit's so big for the Knights here. You don't have a lot of second unit defensive guys. Now Robert Sims, usually a second unit defensive guy, here this afternoon, he's a starting defensive guy. But that second unit for the Knights, so big. Guys like Hunter Alchin and also Noah Shade, and Cameron Schnack as well. Big minutes for the Knights off the bench and big productivity as well.
And when you can get big help from your bench like that, that just improves things overall for the whole team. Those bench guys can give you a boost, a big boost that you may need heading into the stretch.
Some bench players I'm sure we'll see as well at some point here this afternoon. Number 17, Logan Funk. I like to call him the Funker. He's going to be coming into this game at some point, I'm sure. Doesn't have a lot of goals in the early part of this season to his name. Does have a few, but he is another one of those players, much like Hoffmeister, kind of seems to find himself in the right place at the right time all the time.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, like you said, he doesn't have a whole lot of goals. He has 4 on the season, so right place at the right time for those 4 goals.
And here is the goal kick there from the Cardinals. Not a very good one as it finds a Knights player, but the Knights player committed the foul. And that is why the Cardinals now have possession here. And we're approaching the 15-minute mark of this first half, and the score still remains 1-0 in favor of the Knights.
And even though Catonsville's down a goal, you got to look out for Eddie Fosung for the Cardinals. He leads the team in goals with 5. All of those came in the last game against Cecil College.
Oh, wow. He's got a lot of momentum rolling down onto his side, so he's going to be one of those players for the Cardinals. You're going to want to get him the ball in the last 15 minutes and in the next 45. He may be the unsung hero for this Cardinals team if he can get the game-tying goal.
And if he does, expect this thing to go right back to where it was before. Should be aggressive and deadlocked.
Here's the offensive opportunity for the Cardinals after the steal in the defensive zone. A long pass probably should have been a long shot, probably should have been a long pass. But instead, it's an easy save there by Guarnio. So hard to control that ball after it's been in the air for so long, especially with the foot. Sometimes it's easier to give in with the chest, make the save that way. And, man, things are getting really chippy out there. And there's Hoffmeister trying to plead his case with the referee. And yet, in my life, have I ever seen a referee at this level overturn a call, and that will remain.
I was going to say, plead all you want, young man. I don't think it'll do you any good.
The guy with the referee rarely admits that he ever made a mistake. Right in front of the midfield line. Good kick. That's going to find a way into the box and could have found a way into goal-scoring range. 50-50 ball, neither team controlling it. And there is a dangerous play there by the Cardinals player. You can find yourself in a real bad position going after a bicycle kick or a turning kick like that. You can find another player on the other team and take off some of his teeth with a play like that.
Yeah, it's always scary when you see that happen. Luckily, crisis averted there.
And the whistle was blown on him for the dangerous play, and that's why the Knights had possession for a moment, and they'll have possession again once the restart happens. Throw in for them on that far sideline. Working it over. Here's Dangler. Over to Seth Walter, now up on the far sideline. Sirion was there. I don't think he realized that the pass was coming for him. And where's the call on that one? No call, but we do get a call the other way. Kind of seemed like a blatant push there. Gage Robinson, he doesn't find his way on the ground by accident in that play.
Yeah, I agree with you. There should have been something there for the push, but maybe they didn't see it. I mean, we're up here. We have better view than they do, maybe.
Yeah, it's like you said, your famous last words. If the ref doesn't see it, it's not illegal, right?
Yeah, got that right.
Here's the play up on the head ball. Little head ball game going on. One team and then the other. Momentum really going back and forth for these two teams. I mean, technically it's on the side of the Knights since they have the lead, but really the Cardinals have had some opportunities here in the last couple minutes, and their opportunities are going to continue, and I think we may see our first card of the game. No, instead we're going to get our first stern talking to of the game as the referee is not liking how chippy this contest is becoming.
Yeah, you've got to keep the game under control, especially in a game like this, a tight one. Got to keep it under control, nip it in the bud early, and hope you don't have to dish out any cards later on in the game for either side.
Long free kick. The last long free kick almost got him a goal-scoring opportunity. That one won't get them one either, as the swing and a miss by the Cardinals player ends up being a missed opportunity. Speaking of opportunities, here's Sirion. Sirion can't get past that one defender, and just an absolute display of dominance on the defensive side by the Cardinals. Number 6, Joseph Safoya. That was pretty impressive.
Very tough defense by Safoya there. When you're one-on-one like that with your man and he's only got to beat you to possibly get a shot on goal, stand your ground is exactly what he did. Good job.
And Sirion is arguably the best one-on-one player for this Knights team. He's the guy that this Knights team feels most comfortable putting the ball on his foot and letting him go to work. There, couldn't get past the last line of defense. So that's a moral victory if I ever saw one for Joseph Safoya. Approaching the final 10 minutes of the first half, and the score remains 1-0. This has been a very chippy, physical contest, and that's only going to continue the longer that this remains 1-0, and that's going to be a trip and a card, our first of the game. That's going to be issued to the Cardinals. Player's going to take his seat on the bench, and he knows it. Walk of shame over there onto the sideline. Hugo Pastis is the one who gets the call, and I wonder what he's arguing with his coach about. There's no way he can argue that that wasn't a foul. He tripped him up pretty good from behind. Just, I'd hope for him, for his sake and his team's sake, that Jake Dengler is not able to capitalize and score here.
Yeah, because if he does, that's just going to make it hurt even more. Almost like a power play in hockey. You get sent to the penalty box for 2 minutes, you're down a man, and you get the power play goal, and it just makes everything all worse.
Yellow card issued to the Cardinals, number 4, Hugo Baptisti. Shot hits off the post and goes over, and it'll be a goal kick. Referee was waving that flag immediately. He saw that that ball hit the goal post and then went up and hit the field goal post that's behind the goal for soccer. So the minute that ball makes contact with that field goal post, it's an out-of-bounds play, and that's why the Cardinals have possession here. Very good shot, though, on goal from Dengler on that free kick.
Oh, definitely a good shot, especially from that close to range, too. At that point, you have to try and attempt to get a shot on goal, and exactly what he did. Unfortunately for Dengler, it hit off the top of the post and went over the crossbar.
And the Cardinals will have possession after that whistle goes against the Knights. They're going to be looking for the quick kick, I'm sure, here. Maybe try and catch the Knights off guard. Actually, they're not going to go for that. Instead, they're going to let their team set up and let the others as well. Let's see here what the Cardinals do. This is 5 yards in front of the midfield line. 10 minutes left in the first half. Opportunity is not there for the Cardinals.
I was just gonna say we've now reached the 10-minute mark here in the game, here in the first half rather, and we would expect to see the offense for Catonsville attempt to start to press the issue a little more here. Is we haven't seen them have many opportunities on Essex side of the field with the ball.
That is for sure, and you don't want to believe in moral victories, but I would say that if the Cardinals are able to get into the halftime period only down by 1, that would have to be a moral victory because, like you said, they haven't had many opportunities at goal scoring, and the Knights have had plenty of opportunities at goal scoring.
Yeah, especially here in the last few minutes. You've got to believe that if you're Catonsville, you've got to try to figure out a way, work the ball around more, space out more, find your teammates, and hopefully find a way to get into the box and get an easy shot on goal.
There was the long shot attempt that was not very good there from the Knights. I believe that was number 24, Seth Walter, who took that shot. It was that gentleman wears the captain's band for the Knights. And his stomach were bigger than his eyes there that time. He was hungry for a goal, but should have known better that wasn't a very good goal-scoring opportunity for him.
No, when you're that far, it's a lot more difficult to score than when you're obviously one-on-one in a breakaway and just have to keep her to beat.
The master of the headband, number 21, Adam Wise, out there for the Knights. He's a player that has seen his minutes increase as the season has gone on. He's a player that I don't believe got any playing time in the first couple of games of the season, and now he's been one of the first defensive midfielders off of the bench for the Knights in the last couple games.
Yeah, he'll be playing in his 6th game today. But like you said, hopefully this will give him the confidence that he needs to try and make a play.
He's definitely earned his minutes for sure in the short time he has played here this season. He's played very well as one of the top defensive midfielders for the Knights team. One of the go-to defenders coming off the bench for the Knights. One of the few go-to defenders. Most of their go-to players off the bench are offensive-minded players. Wise, one of those few players who is more defensive-minded. Wise finds himself deep in offensive territory there, but the Cardinals have possession of the ball after the ball was out of bounds, last touched by the Knights.
Yeah, Syrian was battling in the corner down there, looking to try and gain possession and bring it back to the middle of the box area. Unfortunately, just couldn't find his way to get possession and get the ball back.
Here's the goal kick from the Cardinals. Not a good one, as the Knights seemed like they were going to have possession of that ball for a minute. They lose possession. Now the Cardinals, they lose possession right back. Hot potato. Neither team wants to control the ball the way it looks right now. Cardinals have possession. They give it to the Knights, and the Knights give it right back to the Cardinals. Who give it right back to the Knights. The hot potato contest continues as we are approaching the 5-minute mark of the first half.
Eventually, the ball's got to land somewhere in this game of hot potato. We'll see what happens.
Players down on the field doesn't seem to be that injured, or is he? The play has stopped now. As we have a player down for the Knights as well. And the trainer is going to come onto the field to help him out, and we'll take a quick break. We'll be back right after this injury timeout. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here ready to play the final 6 minutes of this first half. The injured player for the Knights has left the field under his own power, so hopefully he's okay. I believe the injured player was not Clement Blamo Jr., so maybe Dominic Padilla, excuse me. Not sure, can't see who the player is. We'll get you that information as soon as we can. Now, back and forth contest. Neither team controlling the ball for any extended period of time right now. And here's Sirion finally controlling it. He's turning the Jets on. But he can't get past that defender. And here's Wise with the throw in. Wise throw in back to Sims. Sims puts it in the middle. No one there but Cardinals players. And that's why the goalkeeper for the Cardinals able to make the easy save there.
He had the right idea trying to get it to the middle, trying to set up a teammate, but unfortunately no one was there except for the goalkeeper, Castillo.
Here are the Cardinals once again on the offensive. Offensive attempt, I should say. Working that ball over to Dangler. Dangler on the defensive line, pointing his fingers around, trying to direct his teammate in the directions he wants them to be at. Finally ends up passing that ball off, and now the ball's on the far sideline. Gage Robinson's got room in front of him, and he's going to take advantage of that. Here's Sims on the near sideline now. Puts it into the middle. He's got somebody there, but Hunter Alchin, one of the shorter players on this team, only stands at 5'7". Would have been pretty hard for him to get to that one. Alchin there with the good slide tackle on the sideline, which forces that ball out of bounds. And the Cardinals trying to pump themselves up here in the final 4 minutes of this first half. Desperately in need of that game-tying goal.
Yeah, they're definitely going to want to start pushing for it now. Better to go into the half tied than be trailing by a goal.
Here are the Knights. Played in. Sirion was there. It seemed like he had good box-out position, but the Cardinals defender proved otherwise. Dangler, right place, right time to be able to make that stop there with the body as the pass was trying to get around him and towards goal-scoring area for the Cardinals. Cardinals still with possession. The Knights find themselves out of position just for a moment, but it doesn't come back to hurt them as Dangler is able to hurry back and meet back with his defenseman, rejoin that defensive line.
Yeah, the quickness and the length there of Dangler really got him in position to be able to make the play and stop the offensive attack from really beginning.
Stop the offensive momentum before it ever really starts rolling down the hill of the other team, and that's exactly what Jake Dangler did there, getting back into position and stopping that offensive possession for the Cardinals. Cardinals now with a throw-in on the far sideline. Whistle stopped play momentarily, but now we will remain it. And play on the far sideline once again goes out of bounds, and the Cardinals will take possession once again. Throw-in opportunity here for the Cardinals. Let's see if they go for the long throw. Haven't had many opportunities at goal scoring, so they want to take advantage of this. Here's a good opportunity, and a goal for the Cardinals. What a play! It's brand new ball game. Absolutely picture perfect on the long throw-in. And number 14, Henry Mully, comes in with the absolute laser of a shot. 1-1 with 2 minutes and 32 seconds left in the first half.
I was just going to make a comment about maybe they shouldn't try the long throw because of all the bodies in the box, and I just got proved wrong. Good thing I didn't say it, though.
Yeah, it bounced off of somebody's head. I believe it was a Knights player and got into a position where Henry Mully could pull that trigger, bury it into the back of the net, and breathe new life into this rivalry game.
Yeah, but now it's question time here. What do you do? Do you try and go for that goal to get you momentum heading into the second half, or do you try and hold off and go into the second half tied at 1?
That Cardinals goal was scored by number 14, Henry Mully. Here's the throw-in for the Knights. Seth Walter taking this. He's trying to do the exact same thing that the Cardinals did with the long throw. Weiss is there, and it goes over the net and touches the backside of the net. Weiss doesn't get much closer than that. Almost had his first goal of the year.
Yeah, imitation is the biggest form of flattery, and if it worked for Catonsville, why not give it a try if you're Essex?
Oh, yeah, it's definitely worked for the Knights at some points in this season. Seth Walter, I say it every time he goes down into that goal-scoring range to take the throw-in. He's got 2 cannons attached to his body for arms. Almost got himself an assist on the throw-in again. Good play on the near sideline. Here's the Cardinals. Goal-scoring opportunity once again. Dangler, last line of defense, and a beautiful slide tackle by Dangler. Cardinals have brand new life. The body language doctor says that they are rejuvenated and ready to regain the lead, or actually get their first lead of the game.
Yeah, that slide tackle there by Dangler did wonders. It slowed up the offensive player just enough for his teammate to come in and knock the ball away and force the throw in there.
Confidence high for the Cardinals there. You see that on display on that play as they thought they could get a goal scoring there. Eddie Fosong thought he was in a position where he could get the head on the ball and put it into the back of the net. Found out that time he was maybe a little bit too far away from the net.
Maybe a little too far, but you know what? Sometimes you've got to take those shots when you can get them. They just go in.
This will be all she wrote here for the first half, I'm assuming, as now 15 seconds is all that separates these two teams. And I got to assume right now, if you're going into the halftime, the Cardinals got to be really excited about going into the halftime. The Knights, not so much. They had the air popped from their balloon.
Yeah, giving up that goal with just about 2 minutes left to go in the first half doesn't do a whole lot for your confidence, but I think it does improve their chances coming into the second half. They'll come out with some fire and emotion.
All right, let's see what the second half has in store for us after this quick 10-minute break. We'll be back right after this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here and ready to play the next 45 minutes. And man, if it's half as exciting as the first 45 minutes was, this is going to be a good one. What did we see in the first 45, Byron?
We saw a whole lot of defense, and we saw 2 goals from both sides. Well, 1 goal from both sides, rather, as we're all tied at 1 heading into the second half to play. I'm expecting to see more great defense, but I'm hoping these offenses will start to pick it up here and figure out the defenses, so we can hopefully get a winner here in regulation.
That is for sure. We definitely would appreciate a winner in regulation, and want to thank the fans who are joining us this evening to watch. I know you've got some competition to choose from. You got some playoff baseball, which has started, and give you a little update on that. The Twins are up 1-0 right now on the Yankees in the first inning, so maybe the Yankees lose, the Knights win. We have a perfect night here.
Yep. As an Orioles fan, I'm happy when the Yankees are losing. It's always good for me.
It's always a good night when the evil empire goes down. Let's see here what we have in store for the next 45 of this game. Like you said, the first 45, so exciting. The Knights seem to be in the driver's seat for pretty much that entire 45 minutes, and then they got the Cardinals, that is, got a late goal in the last 4 minutes of the first half, and then all the momentum seemed to switch onto their side.
Yeah, it seemed to go that way, and once it went that way, Essex never found a way to get it back. Hopefully they can find it here in the second half.
Now, here's a question for you. If you were head coach Phil Saunders of the Cardinals, what would your halftime speech sound like for your team?
Guys, get the ball to Syria. No. We have got to find a way to get our offense going again. We let in that goal. That's fine. But now we have to find ourselves again. Take your time, run your offense, do what we do best.
Now, if you were head coach Joe Fiedler for the Knights, what would your halftime speech sound like?
Get the ball to Syria. No, but seriously though, it's again, we had momentum. We lost it. That's okay. Let's find our base and let's build on it. Let's get a goal here in the second half and play solid defense and get the W, guys.
All right, solid defense being played there as the Cardinals put an end to that offensive momentum before it ever got going, and the clear attempt went back all the way to the defensive line for the Knights, and now that's where we find ourselves right now. John Asaro seeing his first action of the afternoon, usually is starter for the Knights, but now coming off the bench. Can't imagine that's something we'll see moving forward, as he's one of the top defenders on this team. He finds himself in the starting lineup for the second half.
Yeah, you definitely want to keep your top guys on both offense and defense out there in the starting lineup, since those are the guys that are going to give you the edge that you need, and they can come in off the bench later when your backups are tired to give you that extra boost.
Ooh, and a good clear attempt and a dangerous play. We have a player holding his leg. He immediately went down there. That was a dangerous play. We're not going to see a card there. Oh, are we going to see a card? John Asaro not happy about that.
Yeah, I heard the impact from all the way up here. I heard the little clip of the cleat on a knee or foot, whichever it was. It didn't sound very good, but luckily, kid's up moving around, and we hope he'll be good to go.
Yellow card issued to the Knights, number 16, John Asaro. So Asaro with the yellow card, his first of the game. That's the second yellow card issued in this game. The first was issued to the Cardinals, number 4, Hugo Baptisti. So now 2 players on each. Now 1 player on each team has to watch out for the physical play, because another yellow for either one of those will be an automatic red and an automatic ejection from the game.
Yeah, gotta keep your composure now that you have those yellow cards in the back of your mind. Don't want to go down a guy, especially in a close game like this, a tie game like this.
Here's the play. That's Walter Avila, and oh, so close. Good play by the last line of defense for the Cardinals to put away that ball before it really got going. It's going to be a corner kick for the Knights. Arma Sirian going to take it. Corner kick for the Knights. Taking the kick is number 6, Varma Sirian.
I saw that play developing, and I was thinking, hit the pass. He hit the pass. Pass was good. Shot just happened to be a little unlucky.
Sirion with a good corner finds it in a goal-scoring range for one of his teammates who just could not put the good wood on it. Missed opportunity. There's Dangler trying to put a head on that ball, put it into the back of the net. And, it does find the head of a player, but not on purpose, by accident. Dangler got tied up there in the box and couldn't get to that ball. Missed opportunity for the Knights. In the first half of this game, we were saying they can afford to miss opportunities. Now here in the second half, not so much.
No, now every opportunity counts and every chance is magnified. Everything you do is magnified, really, in a close game like this one.
Guzman, Hernandez, there's Dangler. Dangler with the heel, could not put a ball on. And a good shot by Roney with the head, but a better save by the Cardinals goalkeeper. Very impressive play there for the Knights, though, to be able to get the shot off.
Yeah, Basilio, though, did a good job there, not letting that ball squeak by his hands and reach that top part of the net.
And now here's a free kick opportunity for the Cardinals. This one's coming quite a ways away from the goal-scoring opportunity, from goal-scoring range. So be surprised if they're able to finish this into the back of the net. But we've seen crazier things happen, especially this afternoon.
Oh, yeah, definitely seen our fair share of crazy today, my friend.
And with the full moon out, anything is possible. Ball's played into the middle. Guarnio gets a hand on it and is able to punch it out.
Now's a chance for a counterattack for Essex. Perfect chance right here.
Yeah, it's a good point right there. They don't have numbers, but they do have space. And, last line of defense there, able to make the tackle, put it out of bounds. Clement Blamo Jr. was there running down the sideline, and he had an opportunity at goal scoring if that fast pass could have found him.
That was very smart there by Essex, though. You get the punch away by the goalie and then immediately go on offense. Very, very smart.
It's interesting to think now here. The Knights, they don't really even have a goal to their name. The goal that they did score was an own goal. So nobody on the Knights team has seen one of their shots go into the back of the net. Could that be, starting to creep into into their minds?
It very well could be. We didn't get the goal ourselves. We got to get one for ourselves. Well, I mean, it's the perfect opportunity to do so. Now you can say you won the game by your own means.
Exactly. Doesn't really matter how you get them as long as you get them. And right now they'll take that own goal because that's what is keeping this game tied. But a goal of their own would be one that made this a little better of a game.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Always feel better when you score the goal than when you hear someone else scoring it. But at the same time, it also really doesn't matter because it's a goal in the books and on the scoreboard.
Here's an opportunity. There's Trent Hoffmeister. Up to Sirion. Sirion, not a good cross, but somehow it skipped through the legs of the Cardinals defender. And the Cardinals' bad clear attempt there has set the Knights up with a scoring opportunity. Asaro going to take the throw in. Let's see what he's got. Asaro finds Blamo Jr. He gets a head on it, but can't put it near goal or near a teammate. So missed opportunity there from the Knights. Interesting to see Asaro taking that throw in instead of Seth Walter. Walter's got the big arms for the throw-in.
Yeah, I think you want him to take the throw-in in that situation. Maybe he can get it closer to the net and hopefully get a head on the ball and find the back of the net.
The goal scorer for the for the Cardinals is now a goal scorer and a card holder as well, as he is now issued a yellow card, second yellow of the game issued to the Cardinals. First one on number 4, Hugo Baptiste. And now on number 14, Henry Mulai.
Now, it's the only guy who scored a goal on your team with the card. That's gotta have an impact on how you treat him the rest of the game.
Yellow card issued to the Cardinals, number 14, Henry Mulai. So it's definitely got to make a difference. And, man, that was a close call there. Dangler was absolutely the last line of defense. And, he's got to be careful there, kicking and shoving on the ground. I know Dangler is a very passionate individual, but he could have got himself a card there. I know he was the one who got fouled initially, but once you're on the ground, keep your legs to yourself.
Yeah, I got to watch out for that. Luckily, he avoided a card or possibly a red card there.
Got to remember, when you're out there on the field, it's kind of like riding a roller coaster. Keep all hands and feet to yourself. Matt Blamo Jr., here's an opportunity, and he puts it over the goal and out of bounds. And now we've almost played a full 10 minutes. We're still tied 1-1.
Still tied at 1, and we're still seeing some very good offense from both teams. Unfortunately, neither of them can find a way to get the ball in the back of the net, and that's what you got to do in this game.
I once heard a referee say that sometimes the better team doesn't win the game because sometimes the ball just doesn't bounce at the back of the net for you. And could this be one of those games where the Knights failed to win this just because the ball doesn't hit the back of the net for them? Could the ball hit the back of the net for the Cardinals here? And it won't. Great play there by the last line of defense, Seth Walter. The Cardinals were really knocking on opportunity's door there. You breathe a little easier right now as Guarnio, he had to be sweating a little bit back there.
I was sweating out up here. We're getting a nice breeze coming in here, so that's saying something for how Guarnio feels down there. Good thing for him that he had Walter back there to back him up and pick him up, rather. Prevent that goal from going in.
And that is a trip from behind. Dangler taking a good old beating out there. That's the second time in about a couple minutes that he has gotten tripped from behind. He's a tough young man, though, so he's going to stay into the game. And, he wants to be the one who gets that deciding goal for the Knights.
Yeah, you always want to be the guy who gets the big goal to put your team ahead. And there will be no bigger goal than the one right here with the tie game at 1.
What a huge goal that would be if he's able to get it. Let's see what happens. Dangler, is the one who wants the goal, but the tough thing about this Knights and what makes them such a difficult team to compete with and defeat is that, Dangler wants the goal, but there's at least 4 or 5 other guys who could easily get the goal as well.
Oh, yeah, and you got to keep eyes on every one of those at all times. Like you said, you've got a few guys who can score goals. Any one of them could be the guy to put it away.
So much firepower, so evenly distributed throughout this team. Long free kick. Guarnio comes off of his line, puts the punch out. That's a very bad punch, though, and could have come back to hurt him. You got to get that more outside of the box. He put that one directly up into the air, and that could really come back to hurt him if he does that again.
Yeah, he popped that thing right up in the air. It was almost like a fly ball in baseball. You got to talk. I got it. Luckily, Essex was able to get to it first and clear it.
No infield fly rule out there, though. That could have ended up being a run.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about that. And those runs, like you said, going to be big at this point in the game.
Runs coming out of premium here right now as if we keep the baseball reference going. These two teams have gone to their bullpens, and they're pitching shutouts right now.
Oh, yeah, and it's really nice to see both teams going deep into their bench, using those guys, and preventing either team from really getting anything going on both sides of the ball.
All right, let's see what happens here. Only 32 minutes is all that separates us between this and the end of regulation. Hopefully we won't be in store for overtime. I think I speak for everybody when I say that, at least. We want to see it be finished here in regulation. It hopefully ends up being a nail-biter.
Yeah, after the first game we saw earlier, I think we could use a little excitement and a nail-biter here, my friend.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, 8 goals, 8-0 in our first game. It was beaten. The Knights laid down in the Cardinals. Here, the men's team's in action. It's a lot closer of a contest.
Yeah, both teams putting up a fight. It's like what you want to see in a game like this.
Brian Roney working really hard, got himself into a goal-scoring opportunity, and I think his eyes were a little bit too big there. Saw the opportunity at the goal, saw all that space in front of him, and he just ripped the shot, finds a seat on the bench afterwards.
Yeah, he took a long shot that he probably didn't need to take there, especially in a close game. You can probably get a better shot than that if you work it around and get a little closer.
Interesting substitution coming into the game for the Knights. Number 11, Michael Nunez. Nunez, one of the few players on this Knights team where Coach Fiedler is going to feel comfortable putting the ball on his foot and letting him go to work. Nunez one of the more talented offensive players on this team, right there, got himself into an opportunity where he put a cross in. The cross just wasn't very accurate.
Yeah, unfortunately, it found the Catonsville defender's foot there, but he also popped it up in the air, so it wasn't that good of a defense either.
Yeah, even though Nunez wasn't able to make the play there, you got to be happy with him making his presence felt already, only about 30 seconds into the game, and he's already made a play that almost led to a goal opportunity.
Yeah, those quick impacts will certainly get the coach's attention.
And oh my goodness, put some music behind that, and you got a sponsor me video. John Asaro, with the spin off of the Cardinals defender, put himself into a position where he was able to clear that out of the defensive zone. Asaro, man, that's a sponsor me video.
Yeah, that looks really, really pretty right there.
Doesn't count for anything other than a clear, but if we were counting style points, I'd give that one a solid 9. Very pretty for sure. Let's see if that good defensive play can lead to a goal-scoring opportunity. 20 yards out of the box, Guzman Hernandez got an opportunity here on the free kick, right in front of that near sideline. 30 minutes left in the contest. Guzman Hernandez, hands up in the air, the ball's up in the air, good cross, 2 players there, but nothing but Cardinals jerseys able to get ahead on it.
Really good cross there by Guzman Hernandez. I was just going to say, look for the cross, the curve toward that left side of the goal, and it did. Unfortunately, though, nobody from Essex could get ahead on it and get it on target.
Corner kick, not a very good one, but they'll get a second one. Let's see here what they do with the corner kick opportunity. 8th corner of the game for the Knights. This one is a short corner. And a good play there by the Cardinals to get that out of the danger zone. And almost a cherry pick goal by Sirion as he was in the right position for the rebound shot. But a good second effort there by the Cardinals goalkeeper. He kept this game tied with that effort.
Did everything right. Got into the right place in the right spot at the right time. Unfortunately, Basilio was there to deny him and say, not so fast, my friend.
That easily could have swung the other way and been a 2-1 game, but a absolute perfect play by the Cardinals goalkeeper, and that has led us to the point where we are right now. Free kick about 20 yards or 15 yards, in front of the midfield line. Cardinals, they want to get something going offensively here. Walter Avila is the only one who's able to get ahead on it, and he heads it out of bounds. Lets his midfielders in defense regain position. Try and clear this properly next time.
Yeah, because for the past few minutes, it's been Essex doing all the work here on offense. They've had the most chances here in the past few minutes, and Catonsville hasn't had any in the past few minutes. So, gotta see what's gonna happen here.
Shot hits the side of the goal and goes out of bounds. So, goal kick awarded to the Knights. We're dangerously approaching a time in this game where it's becoming clear that the next goal is going to win this contest.
Yeah, it's getting to the point where it's going to be possibly a golden goal situation.
No, if we go into overtime, knock on wood, it will be a golden goal situation. The overtime rules here at this level, 2 10-minute periods, but it is a golden goal situation. So if you score in the first minute of that 10-minute period, the game's over.
Golden goal is very exciting. I love it, personally.
It's the only way to play FIFA, if you ask me.
Oh, no doubt.
Seth Walter over to Trent Hoffmeister after stealing it, and there's an offsides call. Actually not. Michael Nunez was even with the defender, to my surprise. But he wasn't able to control that pass, and he wasn't able to take advantage of the good position he found himself in. Hoffmeister once again there, right place, right time, but same like Michael Nunez, he wasn't able to take advantage of the good position he found himself in. It
looked like Nunez slowed up a little bit to make sure he was in line with the defender there, and if that's the case, that's very smart, because if he was offsides, it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah, it's one of those plays there where it's really, really difficult because if you tell Nunez to keep going, he runs the risk, like you say, of finding himself in a position where he's offsides, but he slows down and he runs the risk of allowing the defenders to catch up to him and get the ball. Really sticky situation. That is one of those situations where it separates the great players from the good players.
Yeah, but at some point you need to turn the offside penalty off and just let them go downfield a little bit.
I'm sure there's a lot of people who would agree with you on that one. Probably get a more high-scoring game if we did, but then we wouldn't have entertaining 1-1 contests like we have right now.
Yeah, it's a very entertaining game. Really enjoying this. It's a wonderful night here for soccer, and got perfect weather for it, man. It's good all around.
It certainly is a lovely evening. It's been a great day for soccer, and that only continues as we have such a great game in front of us. 1-1 now with 25 minutes left in this contest. Cardinals with a throw in on the near sideline. Does find the head of a Cardinals player, but also finds the head of a Knights player. And this is a back and forth possession. Neither team controlling it for very long. And that push will go against the Knights. And this sets up the Cardinals with a free kick in a very dangerous position. It's about 10 yards outside of the box on the near sideline. This is goal scoring range.
Yeah, never a good time for a push. And I pointed it out up here. Never a good time for a push. Unfortunately, they got called for it. And now Kings was going to have a chance to take the lead.
Yeah, that was a pretty blatant push up there. You did call that one up from the broadcast booth. You could see that one from a country mile away. Goal scoring opportunity here for the Cardinals. Number 2, Jordan Hunt, is going to take the kick. Let's see what he's got here. First opportunity of the game to score on a goal kick, or on a free kick, excuse me.
2-man wall, let's see.
Hunt went for the cross instead, and it was so close. Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, and Hunt wishes we were playing one of those this afternoon because it does not get much closer than that.
Wow, that is unbelievable. Gotta be kicking yourself, no pun intended there after that one. You were so close to putting it in the back of the net, just couldn't get it done.
Whew. Man, sigh of relief if you're the sideline for the Knights, because you just saw this game flash right in front of your eyes, because that was dangerously close to a goal. Here's another opportunity. Dengler, last line of defense, and he's able to slow the Cardinals offensive player down just enough to allow Seth Walter to regroup and clear that ball out of the danger zone. Here come the Knights. Seems like this is their first offensive possession in a couple minutes now, and the possession will not remain, as I thought the Cardinals player was the last one to touch it, but the man with the whistle saw it the other way around.
Yeah, it seems like we're going in waves here, possessions. Essex will dominate for a little bit. They'll have the ball in Catonsville's zone for a good 3 to 4 minutes, and then it'll be Catonsville's trying to do the same thing right back. So, and now it's for the past few minutes been all Catonsville. Let's see if Essex can get it back right here.
That's so surprising, especially given the momentum that the Knights had in the first half. Before that goal was scored by the Cardinals at the end of the first half, they possessed the ball for pretty much that entire first half.
Yeah, they really did, and it's a shame to see them fall by the wayside and not have that same momentum.
Good play defensively there by Asaro to put a stop to the Cardinals' offensive momentum before it ever got rolling down the hill. And another missed opportunity there by the Knights as they had numbers and space, but the bad pass leads to a turnover.
So, yeah, it almost feels like they're working a little too fast when they get the ball in offense. There's 22 minutes left. You have plenty of time to try and make something happen. I know you want to get the goal back in quickly, but you still got to work the ball around and try to find the best opportunity for a shot.
I think the I think the Knights realize that the offensive momentum is really rolling on the side of the Cardinals right now, and they may realize that they need to steal back some of that momentum with some serious force. Long shot, Dengler, so close. Oh, man.
He absolutely ripped that thing.
Whew, Dengler almost had him a sponsor me video if that would have went in. Oh,
my
man.
goodness.
Dangler. Look of frustration on his face says it all. He knows he was dangerously close to making this game 2-1.
That would have been an impressive goal. I've done that in FIFA. That's very, very exciting for me. That happened.
Here is the play. Guzman, Hernandez into the box. There it is. And we are going to have a penalty kick. We're going to have a penalty kick. And what a way to settle this game if this ends up going. This could be one of those moments where if the Cardinals end up losing this contest, they look back on this moment and this call from the referee as the one that changed the game forever.
Yeah, nothing gets bigger than a penalty kick, especially in a tie game when you need a goal to give your team the lead and possibly put the game away. This right here is huge.
The Knights already have a home penalty kick goal on their resume for this season. Doesn't get much more pressure-packed than a moment like this when the second half has been absolutely dominated by the Cardinals. The Knights get a gift like this. You got to capitalize on it.
Got to capitalize. Let's see what happens.
Doesn't get much more pressure-packed than this. Whistle. Ball's in the air. And a save! Oh, my goodness! And another save! Oh, my! Mama, there goes that man.
Unbelievable.
What an amazing turn of events for the Cardinals. A full extension dive of a save, and then on the rebound, he makes the save again. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, dodged not one, but two bullets there, did Basilio. Amazing, amazing job of keeping right there.
There's a lot of creative people out there in the world, but I don't even think Stephen King could write an ending to that play that was as good as what we just saw. We have a timeout taken on the field because of an injured player, and we'll take one as well. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here. The injured player has left the field. Seems to be okay. Still a little bit of confusion of what's going out onto the field. This play is not resumed yet.
Substitution, maybe? So I move it up?
And at first, they hadn't made the injured player leave the field, and now it is. He does have to leave the field if they stop the play. If they stop play because of an injury, he does have to leave the field. But just for a moment, he can come right back into the game, but had to force that young man off of the field. And now we will remain play. And man, was that last 30 seconds an exciting one?
Oh, that was really exciting. One of the better things I've seen here on this field. That's impressive for sure.
Not just the first save, the second save on the cherry pick goal attempt by the Knights. I mean, a lot of times you'll see the goalie make the save on that first initial attempt on the free kick or the penalty kick, but then you usually see the second guy come in and bury it into the back of the net because the goalie's just out of position.
Right.
That time the goalie made his money's worth.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. That's impressive save by Basilio. Impressive two saves.
Dangler, nice move, toying in with the defense, bringing him in on him, and then forcing them out of position, getting into a position where he could go for the long pass. The long pass almost found a teammate. Does set the Knights up with an opportunity at offense with that deep throw in. Cardinals have possession, but not for long as the Knights steal it right back. But a missed touch there by Hunter Alchin leads to a turnover. And the foul on the Knights, as the Knights turn it right back over, but seemed like they turned it over because there was some pushing and shoving.
You get away with it more times than not, but in this game we've seen a bit of both. Sometimes you get away with it, sometimes you don't, and the ref catches you. And we've had 3 cards now because of it issued in this game.
3 cards issued, 1 for the Knights, John Asaro, and 2 for the Cardinals. Cardinals in scoring position, but too many white jerseys around that ball, and that's what forced the turnover. Sirion, that may be one that keeps him up at night. Missed play there. That's not a missed touch that you see him make often, and it's particularly deadly because it happens in the defensive zone.
Yeah, never want to lose the ball in the defensive zone like that. Got to take better care of the ball and know where you are on the pitch. Unfortunately for them, it didn't work out that way.
Sports like hockey, soccer, and lacrosse, so similar that, you know, the team that commits the turnovers is the most turnovers is usually the team that loses the game. But even worse than just your regular turnover is your turnover in the defensive zone. So many times in hockey, you see a team turn it over in their defensive zone, and it leads up to being a goal for the other team. You almost saw that here this afternoon.
Yeah, you immediately give up a goal because your defense is now out of position to defend anything, because you thought you were going to have a chance to run downfield and get your defense time to set up for the next attack.
Long pass finds the head of a Cardinals player. This offensive game plan of the long pass for the Knights doesn't seem to be working. As we approach the 15-minute mark, let's see if they switch it up and try and work the ball around with the quick 2-man game of passes.
Yeah, a little bit of give and goes, 2-man, get your guys out in space, keep the ball moving around, and eventually you'll find something. We were talking in the booth during the break there. Eventually, somebody's gonna get a goal. It's coming. It's been building for the longest time now.
Cardinals with a throw-in on the far sideline. Be honest with you, fans at home, I'm shaking my head in a little bit of disgust because I went to go check my phone to see what the score of the Yankees game is. Twins were up 3-0 at the end of the first half. Now it's tied up at 3-3 again. Let's hope the Knights win here this afternoon. Trip up from behind on the Knights player. Going to be a call and could be a card issued. That was a pretty blatant trip. No card issued, but Stern talking to will do the job. I think that was Michael Nunez, or actually I believe that was Dominic Padilla.
And the clock's going to keep on ticking. That's what's important right now if you're both teams.
We are approaching the final 15 minutes of this game, and we are getting into a position of this contest where it's pretty obvious that the next goal is going to be the game-winning goal. Could come right here. Very good play up into the front. And that was Edwin Navas who could not get in front of that. Good shielding going on by the Cardinals defense. The Cardinals player took a shot there as he just ran right into the Knights player. I think some Cardinals fans wanted a call. Not going to get one there. Throw in by the Knights is a quick one after the ball goes out of bounds. Sense of urgency has absolutely been renewed for the Knights. Edwin Navas, long shot. Ow, so close. And that will be offsides, as that wouldn't have counted anyway. Varma Sirion was offsides when he had that pass over to his teammate, Michael Nunez, who was getting into a goal position. Man, Edwin Navas, I thought there was no chance that was going in. How did he almost make that?
I have no idea. But that offsides call, however, I don't like it.
That was dangerously close to being the deciding goal of the game for Edwin Navas. You know, if you would have asked me who were the long shot, long goal opportunists, best long shot goal scorers for the Knights team, Edwin Navas would not have been on that list. But after that shot, I'd add him to it for sure.
Yeah, definitely so that he can kick it from distance and be accurate with it, too.
Seth Walter, the pass over to Dangler. Dangler, quick pass up to Alchin. Alchin, the one-touch pass over to Gage Robinson, who he has a one-touch pass, but he gets tripped up from behind. Ref, no call. Hoffmeister with the big boot. And Hoffmeister's going to want that one back for sure as he plays that one off the scoreboard.
All the numbers still working over there? We good?
Yeah, we're still good for right now. Knock on wood. A thing turned off halfway through the game in the women's game before this one. So
you never know. It's always fun times.
You can't afford to have that happen here this afternoon. 14 minutes left in the game and a 1-1 score.
Yeah, I can't afford to go to those manual clocks on the watches that the refs have, I'm sure.
Here's Gage Robinson working the ball up the midfield. Quick pass up to Nunez. Nunez had trouble controlling it at first, and he went for the through ball to Edwin Navas, but just couldn't find him. Goalkeeper for the Cardinals going to toy with the Knights forwards and midfielders, make one of them come in and try and pressure the ball, and then quickly picks it up. I love when the goalies do that.
Play a bit of a game with the guys out there. Have some fun. Why not?
I always think it's silly when people say football is like virtual chess. So if you ask me, I think all sports are like virtual chess. It's really just it's a strategy game, and when a goalie does something like that, it's very much strategy.
Oh yeah, strategy and a little bit of mind games too. It's almost like rolling the ball up the basketball court.
Exactly. Ball doesn't lie, as Rasheed Wallace once said. Dangler on the far sideline after taking the pass, and he's going to go for a quick pass up the far sideline, but it almost found its team. Missed opportunity there. We are rapidly approaching the final 10 minutes of play. We're rapidly approaching a position in this game where you cannot afford to continue to miss opportunities.
Oh, no. Once we get down to these last 10 minutes, everything that was magnified before is just going to get bigger now.
Great play by Hoffmeister to set his teammate up in a position where he could get a cross off. He was unable to get the cross off, but he does set himself up for a corner kick. Very good opportunity here for the Knights.
Yeah, corners are always big. And this one especially is big. Tied at 1 here, but it's just 12:45 to go in the game. This is a big one.
Corner kick for the Knights. Taking the kick is number 11, Michael Nunez. Nunez, very good kick. The ball's in the air. Oh, and an even better save by the Cardinals goalkeeper. 2 times is the charm. That is now 2 times in the last 15 minutes that he has made back-to-back saves that have kept this game 1-1. I can't imagine what the Cardinals would be in position the Cardinals would be in if he wasn't in between the pipes for them.
Yeah, my jaw's still hanging open after those 2 saves there. That's amazing. Basilio's done a really good job here in the second half of keeping his team in the game.
Basilio is out there working on his scholarship opportunities. That is for sure. He's out there trying to get himself a scholarship, playing very, very well, making just 4 absolutely tremendous saves in this second half.
And those 4 saves were not easy saves. 2 came off penalty kicks, and that one off a corner. So those are not easy saves to make.
No, not at all. And they're point blank too. The penalty kick, that's a really hard save. And then the second shot in that penalty kick came off of a point blank cherry pick shot opportunity. And really that was the same thing with those 2. It was 2 head balls. Now the head ball not coming at you with the same velocity that the kicked ball is, but still hard to make that save when it's right in front of you.
Oh yeah, and I think it's coming at a different angle too than what you're used to seeing more times than not. Those headers are they're probably at their either higher or lower arc than the straight shots. So there's that aspect of it too.
Here comes an opportunity for the Knights, but that ball will not roll out of bounds as a whistle was blown on the Cardinals before the ball went out of bounds. And here's a free kick opportunity about 15 to 20 yards in front of the midfield, or out in front of the box, excuse me. A long, clear attempt is successful by the Cardinals, but it won't materialize in an offensive opportunity, as the only players who were around to be able to control that ball were Knights players, and Asaro passes it over to Dangler. Dangler, long pass. That's going to get into the box. Cardinals are there, but so are the Knights. But the Cardinals are able to clear it. That was just an absolute beautiful pass by Dangler. Almost led to a goal.
Yeah, a long pass by Dangler there. Almost, like you said, led to a goal. If one of those Essex guys could have corralled it, What are we looking at? Goal?
Hunter Alchin there. He had an opportunity at goal scoring. He went for the long shot. It was wide of the net. Wide left doesn't count for anything. Good opportunity, though, by Alchin, forcing the issue. Under 10 minutes left to play. We're still scoreless here. No goals in the first half after having one for each team in the first half.
Yeah, it's been a really great defensive second half, but both teams have had opportunities to score. Essex has had two big ones recently, the penalty kick and then the corner kick, but Basilio's done a good job of keeping them off the scoreboard with big-time saves.
Goal kick opportunity for the Cardinals here. Offensive momentum the last 10 minutes has definitely been squarely on the shoulders of the Knights, but the scoreboard doesn't show it, that's for sure.
Yeah, I said earlier about the momentum that each team had their time when they had the ball in the other zone for long periods of time.
Pressing the issue there, Cardinals are forcing Guarnio to come off of his line and make the save. He does, and now he's going to put the boots to it. Long punt. Not a very good one, though, as he works up through the middle of the field. Usually want your punter to work through one of the sidelines. That time it didn't come back to hurt the Knights, as they still have possession here. There is a throw-in for the Cardinals on the far sideline. We are getting real close to the final 5 minutes of this game.
Yeah, getting real close, and as we get closer to that final whistle, things are it's going to keep getting bigger from here.
Yeah, we are officially in a time where it has become pretty clear that the next goal is going to win this game.
The stage is going to get bigger. That's what I was looking for.
Nunez splits the uprights, and the eyes were much too big there. You know, a lot of times those turn and shoot opportunities on the one touch, those are good opportunities at goal, but really difficult to turn the body there. You kind of almost have to have a perfect kick.
Yeah, and I think those work better when you're closer to the net, like a one-timer in hockey. The closer you are to the net, the quicker that shot can get off. The less time the goalie has to react to it, more times than not, it's going to be a goal.
Cardinals almost got that through ball. The Knights not out of the woodwork just yet. The Cardinals still have possession, and a great slide tackle there by Seth Walter. He was the last line of defense there. The Cardinals were coming in with some aggression.
Yeah, with some heat, coming in hot.
Robert De Niro once said, "Don't allow yourself to get attached to anything that you are not willing to walk out on in 30 seconds flat if you feel the heat coming around the corner." Right now, the Cardinals and the Knights feel the heat coming around the corner.
Yeah, because they both know that the next goal, like you said, could possibly win this game, Aaron, and put it to bed.
Foul on the Knights. Trip up there. Cardinals issued the free kick about 5 yards in front of the midfield line, or 15 yards behind the midfield line. Thought that foul took place a little bit closer there, but referee saw a different way. We are officially past the 6-minute mark of this game, which means we may be in store for some overtime, knock on wood. Opportunity here. Oh, the Cardinals just couldn't get to that ball fast enough. They had a one-on-one opportunity if they could have turned the Jets on fast, but just not fast enough to get to that ball. Good play there by Hoffmeister with the fancy footwork, was able to get around the defender. Doesn't want to get past the second one. Instead, he passes it off to his teammate. Knights up the far sideline with just over 5 minutes left. Now working into the box. A beautiful slide tackle on the far sideline. And it'll lead to an out-of-bounds play, last touch by the Knights. Knights players are arguing with the referee. They want to see it go the other way around. Not going to get that call.
Yeah, I thought that was a clean tackle from up here. It looks like he got all the ball. Just happened to be that the guy was there when he took the hit. So, which caused the fall, which possibly caused the Knights players to want the foul and a card there, possibly.
Clock has stopped, and there's some confusion on the field as the substitutions are coming into the game for the Cardinals, and now the ref is going to blow the whistle and resume play. 5 minutes left here in this game, and I'm sure all the fans in attendance and all the players and coaches out there on the field know exactly how much time is left here in this contest.
Yeah, we're getting close to the end here, and still no goals to show for either side here in the second half.
Dangler receives the pass from his goalkeeper, Guarnio. Here come the Knights, in desperate need of that go-ahead goal, and there's a push from behind, and we may see a card there. That was some ruthless aggression he came in with. We will not see a card, but we will see a stoppage in play. Things getting a little chippy out there. We may be in store for a really, really physical next 4 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah, things are going to get really intense here. The longer this score stays tied as we get closer to the end of regulation here. Got a good chance here to goal from this distance.
Oh, this is about as good of an opportunity as Dangler's going to get here on the free kick. He does already have a free kick goal to his name already in this season. Let's see what he's got here. Free kick doesn't get through the wall, and Dangler is going to be kicking himself about that one later. Opportunity at a free kick there, and he just wasted it.
Yeah, right into the wall there, unfortunately for Dangler, and now Catonsville looks to be on a roll here. But the defense is there to knock it away.
Yeah, as much as a role as that Cardinals team was on there offensively, if you looked at the numbers for the Knights, you knew that that was going to be a situation where they were going to have to make something to kind of pull a rabbit out of their hat there. Is they did have the momentum, but the numbers were squarely on the side of the Knights there. They had 4 or 5 defenders already in a good position.
Yeah, it's always tough to score when you're outnumbered on the offensive side of the ball.
Arma Sirion plays it up to Edwin Navas, who plays it back to Sirion in the box. Blamo Jr.'s there, but he won't be able to get ahead on it. It's cleared out of the box momentarily by the Cardinals. Still knocking on opportunities' door is the Knights. Here it comes. Shot. Good! And Comet Blamo Jr. has made this a 2-1 game for the Knights. Oh, my goodness. Mama, there goes that man.
There it is. Exactly what we were looking for. Exactly what we were talking about. Getting down to the last few minutes of the game. And who knows, with 3:33 left, this could be the one.
Clement Blamo Jr. walking up the field, doing his best impression of Jim Morrison in The Doors, singing, "This is the end, my only friend, the end."
It's Blamo Jr.'s 6th goal of the season, and that couldn't have come at a better time.
Couldn't say it better myself, that is for sure. It was getting into crunch time, and Blamo Jr. with the goal. That Knights goal was scored by number 7, Clement Blamo Jr. Very nice goal there from him, and a very nice game we have witnessed. You should come out to these games more often. We may have better games.
Seems like I'm the good luck charm. That's what you're trying to say?
Yeah, it seems like it.
I can live with that.
Now, granted, that theory didn't work for the first game, but...
Well, we won.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's very true. It's
very
true. It's a good point. Now, with 2 minutes and 30 seconds, the Knights have finally put themselves into a position to walk away victorious here, unless the Cardinals can answer back. And a dangerous flick play with the heel, as the Knights could have found themselves with a turnover in their defensive zone that head coach Joe Fiedler would have not been too happy about.
Oh, no, he would have lost his mind down there if that turnover would have caused the goal to be allowed. I think it's time to park the bus, maybe with 2 minutes left, but maybe not.
Oh, Blamo Jr. there once again trying to get his 2nd goal of the contest, and there he made it pretty obvious that he's a lot more confident with the right foot as opposed to the left foot, because if he would have shot with the left foot, could have possibly found the back of the net, as he had a better angle with that one.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about that. That whole left side was wide open for the taking.
opportunity they can finally afford to miss now that they find themselves up 2-1. Man, this has just been an absolute fantastic contest. The Knights got out to an early 1-0 lead. Late in the first half, the Cardinals were able to answer back, tying it at 1-1. And then the Knights finally able to answer back in the late stages of the second half.
And I'm kind of conflicted now. Even though you have 1 minute and 15 seconds left, that's still plenty of time for a quick counterattack by Catonsville to tie the game. But do you want to try to go for that third goal, that put away, that dagger goal for Essex? Or do you park the bus here and just try to escape with the dub?
At this point, I'm sure that the game plan for the Knights is just keep the offense, just keep the momentum rolling, keep doing what you've been doing in this second half, and keep doing what has got you to this point of being up 2-1. I don't think you'll see the Knights change things up at all. If the opportunity for that big goal is there, they'll take it. But, they're confident in their defense as well.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And it's getting to the point where, it's going to become more of a dire situation for Catonsville, and their pressure on offense is going to have to creep up.
And there was a nice defensive play there by Blummo Jr., able to steal that away from the Cardinals player, and that will probably be the final offensive possession of the game for the Cardinals unless they're able to force an issue and steal it away, which they almost do. But Seth Walter is able to clear that out of the defensive area before it really got into a sticky situation. There is a trip that will not be called. Wow. If I was a Cardinals fan, I'd be none too happy with that no call. And I think the goalkeeper for the Cardinals doesn't realize that there's only 5 seconds left on the clock. He's pointing his teammates in the right direction, not realizing that, you just got to get the ball out of your hand.
Yeah, at that point, got to get the ball out. 5 seconds left. Got to try something of a Hail Mary equivalent in soccer.
Yeah, I kind of had to in that situation, but just didn't realize how much time was left on the clock. I'm Aaron Thomas. Byron, what are your last thoughts on this game?
This was a really, really great game, really fun game. It was tight all the way through, and it's about what I expected it to be. Essex came out away with the win and got bragging rights this year for CCBC.
Bragging rights so far right now. Let's see how these two teams finish up once this season is over. I'm Aaron Thomas for Byron Reed. Thank you for joining us this evening. Thanks for joining us all season long. It's been a great afternoon and great evening of soccer. We'll see you next time.